They had gathered near the border, knowing the reward might be survival and the risk even greater. Then came the reality, as dozens more Palestinians were killed by Israeli fire as they tried to approach a convoy. Tonight, from a British doctor on a hospital ward, a first-hand account of treating the injured among those queuing for aid.
A very, very clear clustering of body parts being targeted, and it's almost as if a game is being played. It's today we're going to shoot the head, tomorrow we're going to shoot the neck, the next day it's going to be the testicles. Appalling.
The new Israeli aid system is inhumane.
Today, together,
also the resumption at scale of humanitarian aid.
Dozens of countries, including the UK, condemned the drip feeding of aid. Suffering of civilians in Gaza has reached new depths, they said. For 2 months, it's been the role of the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation to distribute aid. Backed by the US and Israel, it relies on the IDF to provide security, bringing troops into close proximity with those trying to get food.
We've also routinely pressed the IDF to facilitate the safe movement of civilians, accessing aid at all points. They have made some improvements to their procedures, but we are going to continue to press them.
This video, obtained by ITV News, captures the chaos a few weeks ago, a blur of movement where split-second decisions can mean life or death. Remember, many of these people are grasping at a rare chance to eat at sites which are meant to save lives. This one is known as Site 4.
I saw in one instance during an evacuation in Site 4, 2 Israeli soldiers running and shouting at 2 people that were dressed in regular clothing.
Jackson's words are voiced by an actor. He worked within the GHF operation, joining what he believed was a humanitarian mission. But what unsettled him wasn't just the war wounds, it was what he witnessed behind the aid effort itself. He says in the incident he witnessed, 2 Palestinians were killed by the IDF. His view is that trigger-happy soldiers are now working alongside private contractors for GHF, who don't always hold the right values.
Here comes a tank!
So they're shooting for the sake of shooting a lot of the time.
Struggling, he says, to handle the scale of the task before them, but frightened by the threat that might be among these crowds.
There's just a ton of bad practice. There's a whole culture of just winging it. The most traumatic experience was actually from one of these evacuations on Site 4, where there was a car moving and it was directly hit by the Merkava battle tank. On this occasion, they were protecting us, I guess, from this mystery car. But that was something that I wish I didn't see, because you could see the people inside it. And when a car gets a direct hit from the main gun of a tank, that's quite something, you know.
GHF rejected those claims. In email conversations with ITV News, it told us we'd missed the real story, that theirs is the only aid delivery system operating in Gaza while others remain on the sidelines. But that entire system is now facing mounting criticism.
And Rohit joins me now. So will the condemnation lead to any changes in how aid is given out in Gaza?
Not in the near term, I think. Certainly not without a significant change in position of the US administration. We're 2 months into this delivery system now. We're not seeing progress. We're seeing, in fact, a deepening crisis. 2 very serious incidents over the weekend involving live fire. Remember, this was the system that was meant to replace the UN-led operation, which was said to be failing. Well, its replacement is also failing, it would seem, visibly and violently as well. And the reality on the ground is that Palestinians are too often being forced to walk for miles, often having to cross military lines, often having to jostle for food. And then when chaos breaks out, there is too often fire from Israeli soldiers. What we're seeing here also is a governance vacuum. And that's so important at this moment, because what you see in Doha in Qatar is progress towards some sort of ceasefire deal. People are trying to focus their minds on what comes next. And there appears here to be no real credible infrastructure to base a future on.
OK, Rohit, many thanks indeed. Well, there are a few areas inside Gaza where Palestinians have been afforded some limited security. Until today, Deir Al-Balah was among them. But Israeli ground forces have now moved in, having ordered the evacuation of tens of thousands of people. John is in Tel Aviv tonight, and why is Israel doing this now?
Good evening, Gamal. On the face of it, there's not much left for the IDF to do in Gaza. But Deir Al-Balah has the distinction of being one of the very few urban areas left that has more than 50% of its buildings still standing. To justify keeping wars going, armies need objectives, and it seems the IDF has been ordered by the government to clear more and more of the Gaza Strip of both structures and Palestinians. That's certainly what the right-wingers in the Israeli government want to see. The cabinet ministers who've warned the Prime Minister, Mr. Netanyahu, that if he ends this war, they will collapse his government. The problem for Mr. Netanyahu, Gamal, is that polls repeatedly indicate that more than 70% of Israelis want this war over and want to see the 20 remaining living hostages brought home. Now, the other reason for the Deir Al-Balah offensive right now is the ongoing talks in Doha. It's an attempt to put pressure on Hamas. These talks have been going on for more than a fortnight, and late last week the Israelis made some important concessions, but Hamas have yet to respond. The Deir Al-Balah assault is an attempt to lay bare to Hamas what's in store for Gaza should they not respond positively to the latest proposals.